Okay.
And this is our coaches series. We have Coach Desmond Rowley of the men's basketball team and a few players jumping on with us. As part of the coaches series, we're just going to run through some questions to help inform, and then we'll provide some time for any other additional questions that you guys might have. So Coach Des, are you good to go?
Ready to go.
Okay, so first question that comes up a lot, we'll get this one out of the way. Coach Des, can you just kind of talk us through what a typical week would be like as part of the men's basketball team, say once your season really gets going?
Okay, so there's sort of different segments too, but let's just say it's early September where we're just getting started. So in the beginning for the first, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll practice 4 days a week. We will, depending on the time we get in, we'll get a couple hours in the gym. We'll just work on early stuff. There's a lot of skill development stuff initially. Then once we get further into the season, we get a little bit more in terms of prepping for specific opponents and that type of stuff like that. But we want to spend a lot of time doing a lot of skill development because I think that's important. At this level, that's really, really important. Once we get going in the season, then it's not as intensive because generally we'll play Monday, Tuesday, or whatever day we play. We'll practice 2 other days maybe and have the weekend off unless we play on the weekend, and we sort of switch it up a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different this year because there's not all that travel and stuff that we used to do. So we'll probably get a lot more time this year in the gym than previous. So that might be a blessing for us as well. So COVID does have some pluses, I guess.
Okay, and then just zeroing in a little bit more, a question that a lot of people ask is, what are practices like? So from the start when athletes might show up and if they have to deal with any of the athletic therapy to the end of practice when you guys are breaking things down, what is a practice with your team like?
Okay, so we'll do, let's say my practice plan is from 6 to 8. The 6 to 8 is for basketball. That's how I want it to be. So if you need therapy, you need to make an appointment 5:15, 5:20, whatever it is to get done so that you can get yourself into the locker room dressed and on the floor for 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, we then have some trainers with us. I'll put you guys through a little stretching of whatever you need to do. We'll do a bit of a warm up. And again, depending where we are in the season, we'll get into specific either defensive drills, offensive drills, team type play, going over strategy for whoever we're playing, that type of stuff. But the 2 hours that's allotted for practice, we want to be in the gym, not guys at 6 o'clock going to get physio or going, because then that takes away from our time. That changes a little bit because we don't really have much in terms of where we can dictate people's schedules. So sometimes people come in late, sometimes some have to leave early for that. That's okay. I'm never going to be, I don't want to say upset, but I'll never give an argument when it comes to your academics. If school is what you got to do, then by all means, that's what you got to do. So, but we'd like that 2 hours if we can for us and us only in the gym.
And then moving on from that, my background, you can see a little bit. Obviously, our floor has changed since we last got a good photo like this. We weren't able to use the new floor last year. Can you just touch a little bit on what the facilities are like? So the gymnasium, the team rooms, any of the other spaces that the athletes might use?
So I tell this to people all the time, and it sounds like a bias, but because I've been there for so long. But in the OCAA of all the gyms we go to, I think this is in the top 3 or 4 in all the OCAA. Just looking at what we're looking at right now. Then when we get to where we have our team rooms, again, there's some others who I guess have seen and have gone a little bit more modern than we have, but it's second to none. We have our own space, televisions, boards, showers, whatever. We have everything in there. And once you guys come in, you'll get to see it. It's a great facility. We have a new facility for you guys who don't know, that's at part of the university. And sometimes we practice and play in there. It's nothing like this one that you're looking at right now. This is, to me, is where Durham needs to do all this stuff. I just love it there.
As part of the varsity teams, something that's pretty unique with Durham is that during the season, you will have 2 student therapists or trainers embedded with your team. Not a lot of the college teams will have that kind of benefit. Can you just talk a little bit about how athletic therapy works with your team in terms of having those 2 trainers with you, going to away games, practices, everything else? And then if athletes might have to then escalate and work with Saul or Allison or anybody like that?
So on a regular basis, we roster, meaning the entire team is made up of 20 people, 2 of those spots are aligned to those. They are intricate part of our team. So when you guys, and maybe Crystal can answer some of this as he's sort of been around, when you guys have any type of injuries, it's good to let me know because, okay, I can know, but you need to let the trainers know. And then they will put in place what plans they think you guys need to get you back into good health. They will report to me on a regular basis. Okay, he's good for practice today, but he can only do light this or whatever it is. So it's really important that you communicate with them. And if things need to go to a higher level, then the name Saul, Jordan mentioned Saul's name, Saul and Allison, they run the clinic and they can escalate your treatment to a higher level. The only thing is, which we've run into problems in the past and I don't like it, and I fully understand where they're coming from, is you have to book appointments to go see them. And we have people in the past who just don't show up for the appointments. And that's not good because when you don't show up, it's a time slot somebody else could have used, or they want to cancel last minute. They ask that if you have an appointment book and something comes up where you can't make it, you just call them and say, listen, this has come up. I won't be able to make my appointment. If you just no show, you get 1 freebie, I believe it is. And after that, you'll be kicked out of the clinic. And because you're part, they'll give you in-game stuff that they need to, but other than that, you'll be on your own. So you don't want to sort of burn that bridge, because for us, even once you're a part of varsity athletics, even after the season, if you need treatment, you can get that. But if you sort of messed it up, good luck to you. And I sided them 100%.
And as student athletes, that would all be free to you guys as varsity athletes in terms of getting athletic therapy. And as Coach Des mentioned, even beyond the season, if you guys are dealing with anything that you might need rehab or anything like that, like our AT staff definitely works hard to take care of you. Another question that we get pretty often in the sessions we've done previously deals with academics. So Coach, can you just talk a little bit about how athletes might deal with academic conflicts? Like if they have, you guys are leaving on a Friday to travel and they're going to have to miss a class, or if there's going to be a conflict with a midterm exam or anything like that.
Right. So a couple of things, and I'm going to add a little bit to it because I'm going back to what I did years ago and implementing some sort of team academic stuff. I'll talk about that in a second. So once you are a member of the team, we will direct you to the website where you can get some documentation that you can take to every teacher, professor, whatever you want to call them that you guys have. You present this to them and you say, my name is Desmond Rowley. I'm trying to pick which name, but I don't want to let anybody else. So my name is Desmond Rowley. I'm a member of the men's basketball team, and here's my schedule. So most teachers, and I know it through coaching, I know it through when I went to college as well, if they know you're a part of varsity athletics, they will help you all they can. If you just show up on Friday and say, I can't do the test, we're going to Ottawa, good luck to you. There has been times, it hasn't happened recently, where they've asked me to administer the test in the city that we're going to, and I get you in the hotel room. But my point is, you have to identify yourself to them to let them know you're part of varsity athletics, and they will work with you. Further to what we will do this year, which I got away from, we did a couple of years ago. So let's say we practice Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm going to pick one of those days. It's probably going to be on a Thursday or a Tuesday. And if our practice time is 6 to 8, really our practice time is 5 to 8, because from 5 to 6, these are just random times. Don't pick them as specific. We are going to book a room upstairs that's a study area, and you come in there, you bring schoolwork, not magazines, not surfing the net or whatever it is you young fellas do, schoolwork, and that's what we'll do for an hour. We'll probably do it for about 45 minutes to give you 15 minutes to get out, go downstairs, go get changed, whatever you need to do. And that is a no miss. You can't miss it unless you have class. You can't just miss it just because what I'm finding is academics and young men don't seem to be a good mix. And we have to get that on point, because you can't play if your grades are no good. And we as a team have been struggling with that for a little bit, and it needs to be clean. So we're going to implement a study hall, and that's non-negotiable. First year students, we have a program where you guys will be on attendance cards. So you'll meet our varsity coordinator. He'll give you all the information. He gives you a card. You take it to every teacher that you go to, and they sign it saying that you were in class, and that's it. On a Friday, you will take it, or Thursday, whatever it is, and you present it to him, and he will look at it. Once he reviews it, he says, okay, Desmond had 5 classes this week. He only went to 1. He'll let me know. I let the coach know, and then we will sit down and discuss why is it you can only make it to one class and what's going on. So that's sort of how that's going to work as we go forward. But that's vital. That things are non-negotiable. That's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, and that sport coordinator is Mike Duggan. He does a lot to work with the athletes, and he provides academic support when needed. And he knows the program coordinators within all the different faculties and all the different schools at Durham. So he can connect with the people if there is someone that might be struggling. And on top of that, the thing I always bring up with sports and academics is, you know, you guys are going to know your schedule. Hopefully we're going to get the schedule released from the OCAA. And before you guys even have your first class, you guys will have the opportunity to present that to a teacher or a professor and say, you know, if there is any conflicts, let's know about it 3 months in advance rather than 2 days.
Yeah, sorry. And if I can also add, I spent time in college many years ago. I got kids that go to college. I've been around it. So I know first year guys, especially, it can be a bit of a struggle because in high school, you sort of have a teacher over you telling you do this. In college, you're on your own. So if you wait last minute to let us know I'm suffering in this class academically, it's probably the minute you identify you're having an issue, bring it to me or bring it to Mike Duggan. He will connect you with tutors, with whatever you need to get you the direct. Maybe one of your teammates have taken the same program that you're taking. They can help you, but nobody can help you if the information isn't made known. It's really that simple.
Okay, moving on to more sport-specific stuff, Des. For any recruit that might be coming in, whether they're coming in from high school or club or another institution, what's something they can work on leading into that season, joining and coming to DC, more sports specifically?
Okay, so for me, it's September. Let's say we start September 12th. That's not the time to start getting in shape. From you show up in the gym, you should be in shape, ready to go. And then the basic basketball stuff, work on your ball handling, work on your conditioning, because we're going to do a lot. Everybody's been off for a year and a half, so bodies need to be reconditioned. So we're going to be running. So work on your ball handling, work on whatever your skill is, work on it, but whatever you're weak at as well, practice that, but be in shape. That's the best I can tell you, because we are going to do a lot of stuff without the ball where we're getting in shape. Games are lost in the fourth quarter when teams aren't in shape.
And you've had quite a few years at DC now, Des. From your experiences, what is something that you think stands out about Durham in comparison to other schools for potential student athletes coming in?
What you're looking at right behind Jordan right there. When there's game night, no matter what sport it is, once it's game night, that place is tremendous. It's a great atmosphere. It's one, and if it's a rival, like we're playing somebody like Seneca or something like that, then it's even worse. Like the atmosphere around that place, and we're big on team supporting teams. So if we're playing, you'll see soccer, volleyball, base, you'll see everybody up there. And we sort of like to do the same likewise when the other teams are playing, where they're in support. And so the atmosphere you're going to put yourself in on a Friday night in there in the middle of winter when a big game is going on, it's great. It's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, DC for DC is a very real thing. It's a program we have, and we kind of push through, and just athletes supporting each other. So basketball games, there's a lot of times you'll see 10 guys from the rugby team, you'll see 5 guys from the baseball team, you'll see 6 or 7 people from both soccer teams, and they're all out to watch and cheer each other on. So, and then there's a lot of times that there's people just hanging around campus and they'll end up coming to the basketball game. So a lot of times basketball and volleyball do have really good attendance. And then the last question on our list before we open it up is just any final tips you have for people coming into college athletics?
You know what? You have to sort of prepare yourself that you're going to have to almost become an adult, because you're going to be on your own, especially for those of you who are coming from another city. You're going to be on your own. At times, it's going to seem like you're by yourself, but you're going to have to sort of grow up really quickly. If that's a good thing to say. But you know what? You have a lot of resources in teammates, coaches, the administration. Ask questions. But apart from the basketball stuff, no matter what you do in the school community, get involved. Don't be sort of keeping to yourself and you're just only ready to shine when it's basketball time. It's a good environment. Be a part of the whole school community, and you find the year goes by a lot easier, and you make lifelong friends, man. That's about all I can tell you.
So now we have a few of you guys, so I'll open it up. If anybody has any questions about the upcoming season, about the way things are going to work, about anything academically, I can try and help. Any questions, guys?
Quiet bunch.
Daniel, yeah? Oh, I think you're on mute, Daniel.
Unmute.
Classic Zoom.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll start because I know I have a lot of questions because as far as this first question is for Coach Rowley. Coach, what can I expect as far as an adjustment wise to the style of play in Canada? Because I've heard like different things about the conference about about what's the style of play for with each and every team and everything. Like I've heard, hey, like the refs might be a little bit tight on certain things. It's not. Yeah. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's not.
So I wouldn't so much worry about referees. What I will tell you is this: from again coaching this league almost 20 years now, and playing 3 years in it as well. It's a guards league. Having said that, if you're a big guy, that doesn't mean we don't want you. It just means if you have good ball handling skills, if you can put the ball in and play from the perimeter as opposed to with your back to the basket, which is good once in a while, but it's a guards league. It's a go league. It's up and down, up and down. Me specifically, and the guys I'm bringing to help me coach, I prefer to run from the defensive end, meaning we'll defend, turn over, and go. If we can go through a game and not run a set, that makes me happy because we're playing hard, we're running, we're defending, turning people over, and we're just getting easy scores. But if we have to go into set, yeah, there's stuff we'll do. And we'll do a lot of movement, motion, that type of stuff. We're not big on, like Crystal, for example, he's 6'6", 6'7". We're not going to tell him, okay, you got to put your back to the basket all the time. There are going to be times when he has an advantage. You're going to have to go down there and do that. But if you work enough, and that's why I say work on yourself. If you work enough on what you're good at and you show us that you can do it, if you have an open three, I'm not going to tell you don't take it unless it's not something you're good at. So work on what you're good at, but understand it's a running guard type of league. And that's why I say you got to be in shape because it's up and down for 40 minutes. Referees, don't even worry about that. We'll get into that. You'll see when you come to the OCAA what refereeing is like. You think it's bad in the US? Welcome. Good luck to you.
I can echo what Coach said too, just from seeing all the games and watching so much of it. It's very fast, lots of up and down. People are getting rebounds and they're going. It's definitely not too many teams are using a strategy where they're trying to slow things down or chew up a lot of clock. People are running and gunning, that's for sure.
Even from when I played in it years ago, it's always been a guards league. And having said that, I don't mean you just have to be a guard. Once you can handle the ball and do certain things, you'll do well in this league.
We do have a question from Nick in the chat as well. He was just wondering about tryout dates. We might not have them specifically, but Coach Des, you have an idea of when tryout dates are going to be?
I have to speak. I don't know. I won't know anything till I speak to Ken. I think he said early August. We're generally usually the second week in September. But having said that, you guys are all in one here now. You can't say you didn't know because I'm going to tell you. You need to go online, and there's a whole lot of stuff you need to do in terms of paperwork that needs to be filled out. You have to have a physical done. So go on the site, and you're going to see all the stuff that needs to be done. Don't wait till the last minute because you cannot even try out unless these things are completed. So there's the Durham College, the men's basketball site. It's all over. Go to the actually, Jordan, you can speak to that probably better than I.
Yeah, we've made it a quick button as well on the website. So if you go to the website, scroll down a little bit, you'll see varsity registration form right on the front homepage of the website. And that's what you're going to have to fill out. That's going to give us all the information we need, as well as lead you to the medical information you're going to have to fill out for therapy. And yeah, for tryout dates, typically basketball is looking at early September, but with the way seasons are looking like, it might be a little later in September this year.
Yeah, it could be maybe even October. So that's why I don't want to
tell
September,
anybody early October,
anything right now because I honestly don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
As an international student, this was the most important. When do I need to report in time, and do I need to quarantine prior, depending on what's Canada's rules with COVID?
Oh, that's a question I haven't heard all since. I'm assuming you'll probably have to. I don't know, but like tomorrow we're going into step 3. What that means, I don't know. So a lot more restrictions are coming off. So just leave that with me, and you don't have to be here by August 1st type of thing. It's whenever you're comfortable. You want to be here before school starts. To me, I would want to be here a week or two to get comfortable, explore the city a little bit, see my surroundings, know where I am. But you don't have to be here a month early, and you certainly don't want to come in here the night before. So a week and a half ahead, that's fine. By then, I should have probably a better answer for you, or you may hear it yourself because the news is going to be telling us what's going on. But leave that first part with me in terms of what you're going to need to do when you get in here and all that, and we'll get back to you on that. But certainly, give yourself, I would say maximum 2 weeks out, look to be here. So not just for the, again, you're going to live in a strange city. You want to know where the mall is. You want to know where certain things are, that if you need something, you know where it is. That's not a scramble.
And then that doubles too in terms of if you're able to come in and get everything you need to do as a student in terms of student cards and everything like that. The Durham student card doubles as bus passes for every single student at Durham College. So if you're going to be looking to get anywhere, like that's such an important thing to just jump on campus. And there's usually pretty big lineups at the start of the year. So if you're able to get there a little earlier to grab it, or if you have anything to do with financial aid or anything with registering classes, you're still figuring out, being able to come to the student center and get those done early is such a huge benefit too, in terms of trying to beat those lines that might be coming once school starts. Like that first week of school, all of those places are going to be packed.
And I sorry, Jordan, I won't speak for, I'm not telling you guys on here what you need to do, but if you notice, a lot of the colleges are now going to that if you don't have vaccines, they're probably going to be tough for you on the campus. So I'm not saying Durham is doing that, but you might want to think about what's going on in the world and what's the safest thing for you in terms of, I'll tell you, I have them both. I'm not saying anybody else has to have them, but you're just not limiting yourself if you have it. That's all I can tell you. Because if they decide, you know what, we don't want to take the chance because September could, and you're not fully vaccinated, they may say, well, unfortunately, you can't be participating in sports, but that's something you need to talk about with your families and stuff, but something to consider.
Any other questions? Daniel, what program are you going into?
I'm going into the video production program as a postgraduate from an undergrad already. So I think I'm like a grad student under the United States type of rule, under the United States school system. So I'm like a grad student.
Yeah, it would be a post-grad certificate that you'd be doing.
Yeah.
I can say too, the video production is pretty good. Like we have student employees that come from that video program that we hire every once in a while. So I'll just echo that out to people as well. Like if you're looking for part-time employment or anything like that, like you can always try and apply for DC Works, which is our on-campus employment. And you can work within your faculty. You can work within different administrations and offices on campus. You could work at the Flex, which is our fitness center. Like they're always looking for front desk people or facilities help. So there's lots of opportunity if you are looking for part-time work on campus. That's as long as you qualify for DC Works, that you would be able to take advantage of.
And let me just add though, if you're going to work, that's all good. Because I know some of y'all need to. It can affect your academics. And it definitely better not be affecting your basketball where you're telling me, well, I got to miss practice because I got to work. So figure it out and organize yourself properly. College is big about time management.
And Zeke mentioned it, that the jobs around campus work around both basketball and academic schedules. So through the DC Works program, you're limited to only working 12 hours a week because they want you to focus on school and stuff like that. It's just an additional part-time employment you can have, and they'll figure out, you know, if you can work 3 hours here on a Monday in the afternoon, or if you can work 2 hours at night when on a night you guys know you guys aren't practicing.
Right.
That's how they'll work around it.
So learn to manage your time and set schedules appropriately, so nothing doesn't affect the other. It should be a nice, smooth transition all around. You're going to be tired, but that's part of, as I said earlier, you're growing up, you have to sort of manage yourselves.
Any other questions, guys?
Crystal, you got nothing?
I don't really have no questions. If there's anything you guys want me to answer, I could help you guys out. I was on the team for just about a year, so.
Crystal's been there. He's experienced it.
Yeah.
He got to dunk in front of the crowd.
Until you see his email handle, you might wonder what it means.
Crystal, you go to 24@gmail.com.
You changed it.
I changed it.
Well, you changed it. Thank God.
Yeah. I don't. Basketball wise, like just as long as you just work hard, like you will like adapt to anything, like the refs and stuff. Like you can't really control stuff like that. You just gotta just play the game. Just be smart with certain, like if somebody's running towards you, just take a charge instead of trying to, like, you know, like it's just little stuff like that. You know, just And then the crowd is pretty good. Usually it's like a big high school crowd. Like it's really like everybody's screaming. There's like a mascot. There's cameras everywhere. So it's like it's basically just like showtime.
And then, Coach, we have Nick. We have Nick just asking about team chemistry. So it's been a year without a team, but how has chemistry been with the teams?
For the most part, we've never had a problem with that. But if I can be upfront and honest, the last year we played, there was a bit of a struggle at times, let's say, because we were a very, very young group and a very sort of not mature group. So it was struggling to find leadership, and it wasn't coupled that we didn't really have a good year, not because we weren't good, we just didn't get things done. So those two things. So we're going to try and put some other things in place where that doesn't happen. We identify, like having Christo back is really good. Even Daniel, who's been through college types atmosphere before, that'll be really helpful. And we're bringing in a couple of guys from other schools who've been around. So that sort of maturity will help the younger guys as you go, because it's important that as good as you are, as bad as you are, you need to be together all the time. And for that season, I don't know that we really were.
And I think a big thing too is your addition of Fun Show. Like I imagine he's going to do great things from the bench for the team.
So who he's speaking of is a player that graduated from Durham. He played for me for 3 years, and he's now coming back as a graduate coach, if you will. And he's going to be key because he's a good connection where he's still close enough to you guys, but he's sort of connected to us. So he could be that buffer, that sort of guy you guys can go to because you don't want to go to the scraggly old guys.
Sorry,
Fun Show. I don't know that you know Fun Show. When you walk in through the flex, he's got a big picture on the wall outside.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah. He's played some pro ball overseas. He was drafted in one of the Canadian Basketball League drafts. And so I think him coming back is going to be a huge asset for you guys.
So, and if I could also add, let me just add a little bit more about him too, because he started his career in Humber, where he was on not the varsity team. What's that other team called again? The JV, if you will. He didn't make their big squad. So he transferred to Loyalists, played there. He was a decent player. I used to like playing against him because I always thought he helped my team, but that's another story. But then he came to us, and in the 3 years with us, he became all Ontario, all Canadian, great student. So this league allows you to grow and transition yourself if you want to put in the work. And that guy works really, really hard. Probably one of the best jumpers I've ever seen in my life too. So
you guys will want to ask him lots of questions. So any others before we call it a session, guys? I think we're good, Coach. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, make sure to reach out to Coach. He'll be able to help you guys through any of the processes. And if you guys need to reach out to any of the administration as well, like you can reach out to myself, Duggan. All of our emails are on the websites in the staff directory and stuff there. So we're here to try and help you guys through the entire process. So thank you very much, guys. I'm going to stop the record right now.